Welcome to episode 3 of the Grab Bag Asian Horror Film Review with Meg and me. And last time, Meg got to go first.
Yeah.
So this time, I get to go first. Whip in the bag.
We both look up in the air.
Yeah. For no reason whatsoever.
Yay!
Ooh, good one. Excellent.
Personal favourites.
Yeah, we both absolutely adore this film. And
Yes.
it's called
Phone.
And it's a Korean film.
It is, and I want to say that's another blockbuster that we saw
This is a
that
blockbuster.
summer.
Yeah, this is definitely a blockbuster. We
Rented it for sure.
rented it for sure. And it was one of those we had never heard of.
No,
No trailers, nothing.
just saw it out of the corner of our
Go
eye,
right
saw it was
away.
an Asian horror film, and went, well, take it.
We'll try that one. Yeah, we'll do that. Really good.
And it has one of the most stellar performances from the little girl in it. She will terrify you. Not in a ring way, though.
No, not in a ring way, just in a, ooh, this scary kid.
Great
Real
actress,
scary.
too.
Great little actress.
And it also doesn't make you wonder, when you see like really little kids in these like scary films, you always think, what are their parents thinking?
Yeah.
Did their parents just go, yeah, do it?
This is great.
Go on, Timmy, push,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We don't care if you have nightmares the rest of your life.
No, just do it.
Do it. It's just a movie.
So, Dad, what is it about?
Okay, the plot is really, really good. I just remembered, I'd forgotten the very first part of the film. She's a journalist, and she's a true, like, crime journalist.
Get
She
in
does
there,
an
like, yeah, do all the
expose
dirty
on,
work.
yeah, on
Yeah.
like the local mafia people, and she does such a good job that basically send her death threats and try various.
This one man is sending her death threats.
Yeah.
She did a whole article on paedophiles. And she named and shamed several, one
Yeah.
of which was a teacher.
That's it.
Or a doctor or something.
Something he was
One of
like,
those
highly
positions,
respected.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he starts sending her very graphic, very terrifying.
Texts and,
Yeah.
and messages and things like that.
And that's actually the beginning of the movie,
That
isn't
is,
it?
yeah, the very beginning of the film. And what she needs is a place to kind of hide out, which she doesn't want to do. She's one tough cookie.
Yeah, she'll face it head on.
Yeah,
She's doing.
but she does finally decide to hide out, and she hides out in her best friend's house that they've been working on and redoing for quite some time. It's sort of almost finished. And she moves in, and everything seems to be going swimmingly.
Meanwhile, the best friend and her husband have moved away, haven't they? She's
Yeah.
alone in the house.
Yeah.
They've just lent it to you.
They just went into her. Yeah, she's not living with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not one big happy family. And the best friend and her husband have indeed moved off. While the woman is in the house, when things start going a little bit funny is when she's playing the piano. She does like to play the piano, and she notices that something isn't sounding quite right. Is that right? She hears like music responding back to her or something. Is that it? Or she hears something while she's playing?
No, there's a whole subplot that starts emerging around a phone.
Yeah.
And she keeps getting prank calls anyway from this guy, doesn't she?
Yeah.
But something else is calling people. We don't know who
And
or
we don't
what.
know who it is yet.
And so she keeps getting these prank calls, and she's fed up, and she changes her phone and does all this stuff. And she goes to an art gallery. This is shortly before or after. I can't remember. This is around the house.
Around the house time period,
Thing,
yeah.
plot device. And they're looking at an art gallery, and they've got the little girl, her best friend's little
And
daughter.
she is little.
And she's pretty adorable
Yeah.
too. And they're looking around, and this woman's phone rings, and the little girl answers it, and she starts going nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, she just does a little bit of a... Sorry, I have a really itchy nose. I keep seeing you do this. She goes a little bit...
Weird.
I can't remember the name of the girl in The Exorcist, but...
Yeah, I was just
She
going to say,
needs
she goes
test
like Reagan
too.
thingy. You know, it's like, you know, imagine this in Korean, you know, rah, 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 rah. She just goes really like
Nuts.
she goes nutso. Right, so that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think... Well, I think the basic plot that we should give away without giving any, again, spoilers, because
Yeah.
it's really hard explaining any of these movies because they all have spoilers in them,
Yeah.
is that it's like a... I don't want to say a cop movie, but the journalist, you know, escaping from the paedophile, that takes a very thrillery
Yeah.
kind of action turn
Yeah,
almost. And then you've got a very supernatural horror film, and they're just kind of intertwined, or
Yeah.
you know, they're constantly blending,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Well,
That's the basis of it.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to say then. If I don't want to give any spoilers away,
Yeah, don't. You'll ruin it.
it's another one of those films that I absolutely adore and love. It starts out as one thing and turns into another.
But I wouldn't say that it does that either. It's just both. It's simultaneously two things. It's like they...
Yeah, because that guy never goes away, does he?
No.
The threat from him never actually goes away. So, yeah, it's really...
It's unusual in that sense.
It is. It's a fantastically riveting film.
Yeah.
And one I couldn't stop watching at all.
But it's funny because I'm not sure, just looking at the caption here, it says this is a top-notch horror. It's already been pigeonholed.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that. So I wouldn't watch it just expecting a pure horror film. Because it's a bit of an oddball.
Yeah. And even though we mentioned like Reagan from Exorcist, yes, itchy nose, itchy mustache. Don't expect to see any split pea soup anywhere. It's not that kind of
No
horror
Exorcist
film.
twists.
Yeah, none of that. But it is absolutely brilliant. And I've got to say, when you watch it and it twists and turns, at the end of the film, when you find out why everything's happening,
it's like,
oh yeah, it's really, really good. So
it's like, I'm really sad. Now I'm afraid again.
yeah. I was
That's
sad.
the ending.
No, I'm scared. So yeah, great film.
Yeah.
Actually great.
My
Your first
turn. Okay, let's hope I pick an equal. You watch, I'll pick a really crummy one because you picked a really good one. Well, let's explain first. Sorry if the camera angle has just suddenly moved. The stupid camera switched off again because it goes into standby mode, and you probably don't want to sit like that. They're not going to be able to see you.
We have already, believe it or not,
we filmed all this before.
We filmed all this before.
You okay?
Yeah, we filmed all this before, and we actually pulled several films out of the bag. Unbeknownst to us, the camera stopped, and we were talking to dead air, which is okay because we talked to dead air anyway, but we're just now filming it. So we're starting over again, and we're leaving out the grabbing out of the bag. We're just going to talk about the films, which
we'll go back to it next week. It's just that this week
now we know what happens with the camera. We can actually
So I picked. Give me the D.
Sorry, give me the D.
I picked Junk.
Yay!
Which I'm trying to recap what we said previously. Got this after watching the trailer from a Tartan Asia Extreme DVD.
DVD, yes.
Because they all have.
They all had great trailers on the back that showed you films you'd never ever hear of before, and this was one of them.
Exactly, and this is actually no one I know's heard of it, but it's quite the little icon.
Yeah.
To some cinema circles.
Yeah. It is. It's got cult status.
This is a great movie.
It is fantastic.
In a cheap thrills fashion.
Yeah, and it was the first of its kind.
It was.
It's been imitated since.
Exactly. You got Yakuza Dead Souls, a video game.
Yeah.
Yakuza against zombies. You got the Horde that relied on a very similar premise.
Very similar premise.
Talk about the plot.
Yeah, plot. In a nutshell, these professional.
Sorry, this sounds really stupid to us because we've just done this.
Yeah, we just did this whole thing not 10 minutes ago. It's a young group of friends. They're early 20s, I guess, and they're professional jewel thieves. And they're robbing this place. And while they're robbing it, they encounter another gang trying to rob it.
Do they do that? Or
yeah,
I thought
because
they robbed
there's a big
place
black
that
guy
was...
with a baseball bat, remember?
I thought they robbed a place that the Yakuza owned. And they were like, Rrr! Yeah, that was my Yakuza impression.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
Yakuza.
But it doesn't say anything about it on the back here. So that doesn't help. Well, it's either one or the other. One of us is right.
Yeah, either way, the place that they're both robbing...
They encounter Yakuza.
They encounter Yakuza because Yakuza own it, I think. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. They just encounter Yakuza. Let's move on.
Okay,
and then
we'll move on.
In this, like, chase to get away...
by the Yakuza who want to kill them badly because they have their stuff, they run and hide out in this supposedly abandoned warehouse. Well, it's not. It's actually owned by the military. And I've got to mention this because I mentioned it before. This movie, if no other film in the world ever gets this award, this movie should get it. It's the best Bad Actors Award, American Bad Actors Award ever for this film.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that the guys went down to the local embassy or the local air base or whatever and
Or
said,
they just pick people up off the street.
yeah, and said, would you like to be in
You're
our film?
Western.
You're Western, you're American, come act in my film. And it shows.
They're terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. There's a bit where the major is going, why did you come in my door? That way? It's really bad. And the other one you mentioned earlier was
There's something wrong.
DNA.
Yeah, there's something wrong with this DNA. I think that was from The Host.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
to
well,
get an
they use the same
idea of
actors,
how
yeah.
bad it is, yeah, just watch any of those movies, you'll
I
get
think
the
I get an
impression.
idea. You know, they don't get real American actors. They just get whoever they can find on the street.
Or find this abandoned warehouse. They discover very quickly that, like Dad said, it's owned by a group of scientists who are, well, it sounds like they've created
Zombies.
DNX.
DNX, yes.
Which basically means zombies.
Zombies, yeah.
And so it turns into this huge fight with jewelry thieves, Yakuza against zombies.
Zombies, yeah.
It's so bizarrely fun.
Yeah, it is. It's bizarre, yeah, and it is fun. It's fantastic. And the only other person that speaks English as badly as the American actors is the Japanese scientist.
Yeah, who started the whole thing.
Yeah, he started the whole thing. But we forgive him because English isn't his first language, so it makes sense that he would speak it badly.
And we also forgive him because the reason he created it was he was just trying to help his wife, who's this lady on the front cover here.
Yeah. She died, and he wanted to keep her preserved or bring her back or something along those lines. It kind of gets lost in translation.
Yeah.
And she becomes, very female Frankenstein. Scary. Ooh, yeah.
Yes. So it's a cheap thrills, but a really fun, doesn't take itself too seriously. You want to watch it, like,
and it is funny.
all out.
Yeah, it is funny. It's got a good sense of humor. The lions have witty things to say. The characters have witty.
Lives of their own.
Yeah. The characters have funny things to say and do, and it is a lot of fun to watch.
It is, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's literally all we can say about
that.
That's it's not
right
too
there.
deep or twisty, it's just...
Yeah. Excellent. So moving on to the next one.
The next one that you
There's
picked
something
was...
wrong with your DNA.
No, DNX, Dad.
DNX, sorry, DNX.
Right, drum roll.
The third one we picked from the bag,
You
believe it
did.
or not, we really did pick it from the bag, and I'll set up so you can actually see me in the DVD, was this one, which is Way the Ghost.
Good one.
This is a brilliant one.
Well, if you'd have seen it originally, we were thrilled when we bought
We
this
were really
in the bag.
thrilled. And I just want to mention really quickly, here's the thing.
Junk.
A lot of these we bought secondhand, and a lot of them we got from like Blockbusters, but this one, to show you how people didn't really understand this film at
that
all.
was from HMV.
That was his HMV,
No.
which is like Barnes & Noble, I guess, in this country. It was like £5,
Yeah.
which is dirt cheap.
And Ghost we got from Tesco,
Tesco's.
which is a supermarket here, if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah.
in
Just
other
think
countries.
Piggly Wiggly or IGA, and you'll be alright. That's Tesco's. And they used to have a World section, and we just found it by accident.
Yeah.
We'd never seen a trailer for it, never heard of it.
Just saw it. And
But I tell you what did attract us, and we did mention this before, is one of the characters in here. That one is
it's actually the girl who played the Grudge.
the girl who played the Grudge.
She's Japanese, but...
Who was Japanese and not Korean, which this is a Korean film.
Yeah, and I think what was really great about this was it completely took us by surprise because we didn't know what we were expecting. It was literally just that looks interesting, let's try it out. And we were pleasantly surprised, well, more than pleasantly surprised.
We were wildly surprised and wildly pleased with the film.
Just to point out really quickly before we get started, it's not actually called Ghost in its original Korean language. I don't remember what it's called, but it's not called that. So if you're looking for it on the internet, I think it's Dead Friend or Remember Friend or Remember Me or something.
Yeah.
So if you look up Ghost and you can't find it, that might be why. I just want to give you a heads up.
It is called The Ghost. Right there,
Oh.
E letters is The. It's The Ghost. If you
The
type in Ghost, you probably get Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze.
Probably. Or the crappy Chinese remake, Korean remake.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This isn't like that at all.
No. Horrible.
The movie starts with a group of teenage girls having sleepover. This is the Reader's Digest version. Having sleepover, scaring each other with scary stories, doing the Ouija board, and it turns out quite scary. Then the movie shoots way off into left field, has nothing whatsoever to do with that scenario whatsoever, but focuses on one girl who has amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this girl who has amnesia is really sweet and nice and kind and gentle, blah, 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 blah.
But she's trying to discover...
She's trying to discover why she has amnesia, who she really is.
Yeah, the main point of it is her trying to find out who she was.
Yeah.
It's not who she is or who she could
she
be.
was.
It's the horror, despite what you would probably imagine from the front cover, actually comes from her trying to find out who she really was before all this happened and how it all happened, like you said.
Yeah.
And we discover that she may have not been very pleasant, and that's very frightening to her.
Yeah, because we're discovering at the same time she is. Every flashback she has,
she's not very nice.
Well, it's not really so much flashbacks. All you
Or
really
fragmented
see,
memories,
no,
or-
you see images. She
That's
looks
it,
through
images.
photographs of her and her friends back in school,
Mm.
and she always has a smirk on her face that just reads as smug and cruel,
Yeah.
and she can't understand it because this isn't who she is now.
No.
And in the meantime, she's having a really, really poor relationship with her mother, who's
Yeah.
like stepmother, tell her your sister's scary.
Yeah. Uber
And
creepy.
also, she's having supernatural dreams
Yeah. Yeah.
Visions.
Visions. Something. Yeah.
of water and
Yeah.
something scary. coming
And
up to her.
it's really
Because at the end, we find out,
why all this happened.
yes,
Yeah.
and why everyone's acting the way they're acting, and why there's problems, and what it all means, and
Yeah.
it's so highly original.
Yeah. I've never seen a film that's used this plot device before. I've never seen one that's used it since.
No.
It is really, really different, really unique, and so clever.
It is, and
Yeah.
I mean, you just get to the end and you think, wow.
Wow.
I
yeah.
mean, there are a lot of twists that make you go, what? Like,
Yeah.
that was a great twist, but not in the right movie. This is just so unusual
Yeah.
at its core, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, just totally, completely original. Don't let the fact that they put the Grudge Girl on the front
Fool you.
fool you at all. This is a highly original film, and
I think there might be a few, like, generic hair horror
yeah,
related
yeah,
things,
yeah.
but besides that, I mean, the twist.
It's
You
like
know
the
what I
other
mean?
thing that's constant in Asian horror besides
Besides
falling
falling
down
down.
when you're terrified is
Hair.
a lot of hair. You know, obviously bad hair days are really scary in Japan and in Korea and
I
China.
guess so.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think Cordelia had a nightmare of it?
Yeah,
Episode
yeah.
of, that episode of Buffy. then.
So that's the last one that we picked out of the bag,
Yeah.
believe it or not. So
Out of the three.
out of the three, and again we're doing this Reader Digest. We did this complete Reader Digest.
These two are of the same breed.
These two are the exact same breed. Original, give me my cue. Original, blazingly original.
Well, more so this one than that one, but they're both really good. I mean, they have the kind of twisty.
Yeah, but I think they're both pretty original.
Yeah, not so much fun.
Okay.
They've both got something interesting about them,
Yeah.
and they're both kind of horror in a sense. So that's why they fit together, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they're like the most original things I've ever seen. This one, plot device, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying they're both.
This one highly original. This one not so original.
But still
But
great
both
films. that
worth
fit.
seeing for the same reason.
Yeah,
Fantastically great film.
exactly. And then we've got Junk.
Jump.
Cheap thrills, if you want gore, if you want semi-nudity, if you want Yakuza
Takeshi Mike
style gore.
style gore.
Cockles of blood.
Yeah,
This is it.
that's the film you want to watch. So
And
that
that's it.
wraps us up for this episode. So until the next time, like I always say, keep watching the movies and have fun.
Bye.
The way it was phrased in Dirty Rotten Tomatoes. And when you watch it, you can see why.
Yeah. I think it's just rotten tomatoes. Dirty rotten tomatoes, you said.
Yeah, sorry, I've got the
It's
name
just
wrong.
Rotten
didn't I?
Tomatoes.
Just Rotten Tomatoes. Well,
But
if they
they're
do a
dirty
review, I don't
too.
like their Dirty Rotten Tomatoes, okay?
Just press it. You're such a moron.
Stupid camera.
Like, I didn't
stupid
genetically get
camera.
moronic behaviour for. Oh crap.
Right. My mind just went completely blank. In a nutshell,
In a nutshell, the plot
the plot
revolves.
evolves.
Revolves.
The plot
I'm feeding you
revolves.
your lines.
Sorry, I'm missing my cue.